I'm Phil Bolton with the Global Atlanta News Service, and today I'm at Cirque du Soleil in the costume department with Steve Armstrong, who heads the department.
Yes.
How long have you been working on this project, OVO?
On this project, I've been working about 2 years now, 2.5 years. With Cirque, 12 years, and on the road, 10 years.
The costumes in OVO are so remarkable.
Yeah.
They represent insects of all kinds. Tell us about how they were created.
It was a really long process. It's first Liz Vandal from Montreal created them. She took the time to research microscopic views of every single insect. So whatever we see on the costume is basically a close-up of an insect. And it's all inspired by that. And she really took the time to analyze everything from the eyes, the legs, the body.
But they're not duplicates of insects, they're her own creations.
Yes, they are. It's her view of what they should look like, and also the director's view.
And are the costumes kind of traditional Cirque du Soleil costumes in terms of materials, or did they have to take special measures?
In our case, we basically used what we had at Cirque already and just mixed it a different way than the other shows. So we have the basic lycra costumes with all apparatus and mesh and everything on top of it.
Are the materials strong? Do they
Yes.
survive these? Because the performers are so active.
Yeah.
They must be very hard on them. Performers are running up the walls, they're doing acrobatics,
Yeah,
they're rolling on the floor.
Basically, there's not a day where we don't have something to repair. That is normal for acrobats, like you said. Whatever damages our costume the most is the continuous washing. We wash our costumes every night, but it is also Cirque du Soleil's pride, the costumes and flamboyant views that we have on our shows. So we invest a lot of money in there and make sure that everything's more than perfect.
Your team here,
Yes.
are they creating new costumes all the time, or are they just repairing and
They
keeping them
repair
up?
and improve them. We are also on the road researching other technologies to help the artists, help the production, movements, dancing, all that. So if we find stuff, we can always contact the head office and work with them into making it better.
What are your favorite costumes for this show?
Crickets,
The crickets.
no doubt.
And tell us about the crickets. They have these extraordinary legs.
Yeah, they have big, basically skeleton legs. Inside it's like the skeleton of a leg, and then we have foam and covers on it, and it represents basically the big back legs of the crickets, the one they use to sing basically, and they're just a nice piece of art at the same time as being functional.
Have you ever put one on? Do you test them?
Yeah, I tried those in Montreal, also because of my knowledge, making sure that everything was proper for the artists. A lot of the artists here are new to Cirque, so it was better to have other views. So we also had help from other artists from everywhere that came and say, "Hey, can I try them? Yeah, what do you think?" At the same time, and
So it took the artists a while to learn how to operate them, right? Because they're
Yeah.
complex.
originally they were plastic legs. It didn't work out for the show, so we had to go into a metal structure. They are quite heavy. It's not an easy piece, and climbing, jumping, dancing with that is really a long process to learn, definitely.
How about OVO itself? Did you create OVO?
No, I did not.
You didn't. The
No.
costumes, that's not a costume, that's a prop. That's
Yeah.
pretty much a prop.
Yeah. I worked on basically helping Liz Vandal, the designer, the costume designer, into making it technically valuable for the artists and practicable also.
So you have these clothings, but you also have other structures like hats that people are wearing. Tell us a little bit about those. How do you create those? How do you come up
At
with
Cirque,
that?
we have also a prop department that is humongous, and they actually research also their own side of costuming. And they come up with other technologies and slowly present stuff, and then we build the props and basically make them functional.
Don't you think the costumes of this show play a more central role than in some of the other shows? It's like it's this whole insect world, and
No, I think on every shows it's the same. It is part of Cirque du Soleil. It's part of our way of doing things, of showing the performances. So this one, just because it's more specific into you can recognize insects on stage, yeah, it helps a bit. But at Cirque, it's our pride, costumes.
Tell us a little bit about Liz's career.
Liz has been a model, this fashion designer, and came to Cirque with another view that we never really had before, and it just worked really well. I mean, with what we have.
And how about yourself?
Myself, that's a little bit more of a long story, but I was basically a professional snowboarder before. Went into the army, college.
And how did you find Cirque, or how did Cirque
actually,
for
Cirque
you?
found me.
They found you.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's kind of a weird thing, but a friend of mine was working at Cirque, and she called me and said, "Hey, they're looking for people. You should." I was like, "Nah, not really. I don't want to do costumes, or, it's not really my thing." Finally, the next morning I woke up, went to drop my resume in case of, and at the same time as I was dropping my resume, they were calling me for a job.
Ah.
So it just happened.
And so, did you have any costume experience, or did you just learn pretty much
I
from
started
Liz?
learning sewing when I was about 12 years old with my grandmother. Started doing my own snowboarding clothing. And continued from there. And then after college, I was studying in history. Decided to change my career and go into fashion.
How have you found Atlanta?
Pretty nice. I actually like Atlanta a lot, even though I'm from North. And a lot of people think that North and South doesn't get together, but I love Atlanta. It's a beautiful thing. Made a lot of good friends around here.
Right.
So